You know, that's a lot of times why he says you have not because you've asked not.
That's right.
You know, even when Job questioned God, he didn't question God that God didn't know what he was doing. He didn't charge God. He didn't say, God, you don't know what you're doing. But he still asked.
That's right.
He still asked the questions just like Habakkuk did. Habakkuk wanted to know, Lord. You know, and that's like I say, Brother Jim, that's the reason a lot of times that we're in the shape we're in because we get this thing, this mentality in our mind that, hey, we shouldn't question God. We should never ask God. Would you want your kids that you're their father and never ask you questions? Maybe go through life wanting to know something real bad. But hey, just don't ask Daddy. It's a sin to go ask Daddy what the answer is. Well, that's the same way God is. Sometimes we get this in our mind that God is just up there ready to curse us, to do whatever. But you know, that ain't what God is. God's a loving God. He wants us to ask the questions.
That's right.
Some even feel that it was on the border of sin to ask God the questions. Why? Why, God? Why does this go on? But as we read the book of Habakkuk, we find it counters that ideal. It is filled with a prophet for perplexing questions and the Lord's penetrating answers. Habakkuk was unlike many people today who are troubled by the world around them. I sometimes wonder, where is God? Is God going to really answer me? Or why does he not do something about all the pain and suffering, injustice, oppression, this wars and diseases that destroys humanity? If he is really there, why don't he speak? Why don't he speak to us when we ask? Why don't he answer the questions, Brother Mitch, when we ask him sometimes? You know, sometimes he's working a plan. He's working a plan in that, you know. If he is powerful, why doesn't he act? Why don't he act on all this sinful stuff? If he is loving, why doesn't he intervene? While God may not explain everything to our satisfaction, nor are we capable of understanding everything he has told us. He answered us just as he has assured Habakkuk that his ways are just and righteous, and furthermore, he said, the judge shall live by faith. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what he's wanting us to do, Brother Jim. Right. He said that the judge shall live by faith. You know, he's wanting us, even though that he don't answer us all the time, every time, and we ask him a question just as Habakkuk did, he may not answer us every time, but he wants to assure us that he's still with us. The truth applies as Paul and other writers of the New Testament realize in the end of the ultimate answer, God, just trust God. You know, just trust God that he will bring us out. You know, that he will answer us. That he will, you know, see us through it. As we start in Habakkuk 1, it says the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. What is a burden, Brother Jim? A burden is something that weighs heavy on us. It's something, you know, he says that you should make your brother's barrier keeper and not the burden barrier. Mm-hmm. You know, what is that? That's something, and when your brother is down, or if he's in need, you know, you should take his burden upon you just as if he was carrying it. Uh-huh. You know, just as he was carrying it himself. That's something that weighs heavy. If it's something, Brother Jim, if you've got a burden on you, it's something that weighs on you heavy. Yes, you know, heaven is something that just weighs you down as a responsibility or anxiety. Something that just troubles your mind. But this is what Habakkuk was doing. He was seeing this dying world. He couldn't understand, Lord, why ain't you moving on these people? Oh, Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out into the violence, and thou wilt not save? Habakkuk spoke to God using this covenant named Lord. He was coming down to business with Lord, why won't you move? How long? How long shall I go through this? This question phrases as a formal question. How long should I go through this, Lord? How long will you let this go on? Why don't thou show me iniquity? iniquity, trouble, the deception of a society has become a cause of frustration and disappointment for the godly people. You know, as I said, he's seen this, and it caused him to be down, and caused me to behold grievous, for spoiling and violence are before me. Abuse of power, acts of injustice and oppression, they were common in Judea. At this time, you know, they was pressing them and stuff. And there are raised up strife and contention. The people of Judah argued with each other and were involved in destruction. Is that the way we are today? We get to arguing with each other, we get to bicker amongst each other. You know, why? Why, Lord? Why does this go on? As he was asking. Therefore, the law was slacked. The revelation of God given at Mount Sinai had little impact on the hearts of the people whose lives were focused on material success. Mm-hmm. You know, they've done lost the laws of the land. Yes. You know, just like we do. Sometimes we don't even, the laws that God give us and stuff, you know, somewhere in the back of our mind, we lose them.
That's right.
We lose them. We just, you know, think, hey, you know, God ain't going to really do nothing. Huh? So somewhere in our hearts and in our minds, we get to lose what God has told us to do.
That's exactly right.
Just like they did. Just like it when they came. You know, hey, you know, this thing ain't going to really happen. You know, they said that God has